Thank you for joining us today with the LA NAHREP South Bay Leadership Chapter. We are here and we have the amazing Darren Campbell. So let's just talk a little bit about Darren. Darren Campbell is the founder and president of Darren Campbell Capital LLC, DC Capital. As head of DC Capital, Mr. Campbell is focused on the acquisition of major real estate related projects, managing from development opportunities and renovation projects to condominium conversions, distressed property repositioning. I mean, you name it, he's done it. You know, naturally, with all of this knowledge that he has, the most natural path for him to take is to be a coach. And, you know, today he is going to be coaching us, training us, and really mentoring us into something that is going to be amazing, talking about syndication. Darren, I'm really excited. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It is my pleasure, Shalimar. I am excited to be here.
Thank you. Well, I am going to defer to our amazing Darren. We are going to have our Q&A session, guys. So we're going to let him do his thing, kind of talk to us a little bit about, well, what is syndication? What are we going to be really learning about? You know, so I think it's going to be really important that, you know, take copious notes, have your notebook right next to you, because that's what I have. I have my notebook next to me because, as always, Darren brings it, guys. And I always learn something really new every time that I have a coaching session. I told you before, Darren, if it wasn't for your tips or what you really taught me, I bought investment property just on word from the owner, and you know, with the owner carryback. And I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, right?
Exactly.
So I think today we're going to learn a lot about that and learning more about syndication, how to leverage this industry today. And I pass the baton on to you, sir. Here's the literal baton, passing it over.
Boom, got it. Thanks, Shalimar. I am so excited to be here. Every time I do anything with NAHREP South Bay, it's like exciting, it's thrilling, it's fun. We learn something. Somebody always calls me later and goes, "Oh my God, thank God you said this, because I went and did that and now I own that." And that's exactly what Shalimar did. She goes, "You know, something you said last year at our session prompted me to ask this seller to finance the property or carry some of the property, and I bought it." I'm like, "What? You didn't even tell me that was happening." And so you always can learn, like even if you get one little pearl from me today, it might help you change the trajectory of your life, your career, your finances. That's what excites me about this game. That's what excites me about what we can do together when we share knowledge. So that's why any chance I get to join the South Bay NAHREP chapter in anything, you know, Shalimar and Alfonso, I say yes, right?
Yes, you do. And we really do appreciate your time. And guys, let's take advantage of this coaching, this session. Obviously, for those of you who have registered, it's free. And there's, you know, the knowledge that you're going to learn, it's going to be worth its weight in gold. So Darren, thank you.
All right. Well, why don't we dive right in? Today's meeting is about syndication. And let's just start by saying that, by answering the question, what is syndication? Well, syndication is, for lack of a better way to put it, the gathering, the collection, the collaborating of multiple investors pooling their resources to acquire assets. Okay, it's just like putting a bunch of people together, or a few people together, to combine resources to acquire, in this case, real estate. And the interesting thing about today and the opportunity we have today together is, it is because what's great about it is, I think real estate agents have the best opportunity to become successful syndicators of anyone out there. When people go, "Now, how is that?" Well, here's the thing. Real estate agents, what do we get access to? The best properties, the best deals before the rest of the world gets access to them. What else do we get access to? Lots and lots of clients, buyers and sellers who are potential partners of ours. And what else do we know? We know everything about our marketplace. And what else do we do? Real estate, 24/7 is what we do, right? Around the clock, every day, all day, you're in real estate. Who better to be a syndicator to put together like minds and like desires, put them all together on a team and acquire great properties together. It's brilliant, you see. And so I think that real estate agents, many of us, are missing our opportunity to create mega wealth because we're not being principals, we're not being syndicators, we're not being investors. We're letting our best clients buy all the best deals. Well, I'll tell you this, my story, I'll get into a little bit of my story a little bit more in a bit, but I got frustrated watching all my best clients become wealthy with properties that I sold them. Okay, so I got irritated. I'm like, okay, my commission was great, but what my client made on the property 2 or 3 or 5 years later was so much more than my commission amounted to be. And then once I made the commission, I was pretty much out of business. But once they bought the property, they would reposition the property, they would renovate the property, they would flip the property, they'd make a whole lot more money than I was making as a real estate agent. And then people go, well, Darren, you're a top producer. You've made 7 figures. You've made high 7 figures. You've made multiple 7 figures. You were number 2 in the world at Remax. Okay, that's all great. But at the end of the day, every time a transaction closed and I made my commission, thank you very much, I appreciate my commission, but that deal was over for me. And I had nothing left. I had to go and find another deal. I went back to zero, start over, and go and try to make another transaction. But what does an owner do? An owner gets the benefits of that property. An owner gets to reposition that property. And if they're intelligent about it, they get to readjust the value of that property. And if you do it right, if you do it systematically, you can do it predictably. Oh my goodness, predictable wealth. What's better than that? That's better than any stock market gamble. Stock market is a big old casino. Yeah, I got money in the stock market, but it's a casino, you guys. The fact is, you don't know if that stock is going up or down today or tomorrow. You hope it is. You make an educated guess. The company seems good, but at the end of the day, you're closing your eyes and you're rolling the dice, and you hope Tesla will go up, and you hope Microsoft will continue to go up. You just don't know. But in intelligent real estate investing, you can predict with pretty clear accuracy where the value of a property will go. In a fix and flip, you already know what the comps are. So if you take the old ugly house in the best neighborhood and you buy it and you flip it, you know what the best looking houses in the great neighborhood are selling for. So that's pretty predictable about what your value will be. If you buy an apartment building that's old and beat up and ugly, and then you fix it up and you re-rent it at market rent, you already know what the gross rent multiplier of the best buildings in that area obtain. So I can tell you for a fact when I buy it for $700,000, if I move the rents and renovate it and clean it up, and I get those rents up, I know I could sell it at the multiplier that gets me $1.1 million. That's the beauty of real estate investing. And that's the predictability of real estate investing that beats any other kind of gamble out there, because this isn't gambling. We're not speculating. If you learn how to do this properly, you make your money when you buy, and when you sell, it's a foregone conclusion. So the real money is made when you acquire great real estate. And how do you acquire great real estate even when you don't have the money yourself? You syndicate it. It's the greatest thing on planet Earth. You put together partners, you put together investors, you put together people who have like minds as yours, and who might not have the time or the bandwidth or the knowledge that you have. You see, what's special is what you bring to the table that your doctor friends and your lawyer friends and your accountant friends and your other professional friends or your business owner friends, what they don't bring to the table is exactly the opposite of what you bring to the table. The experience of being in the real estate business 24/7. My goodness, it doesn't get any better than that. Who would be a better syndicator than you? There is no one better. So let me tell you how it kind of happened for me, you guys. I started out like anybody else with the idea of doing fix and flips and buying turnkey investments and buying a house here and a house there, and then parlaying that house here and that house there, and trying to parlay those 2 or 3 of those together. I'm trying to get my screen to work here, guys. And then put 3 or 4 or 5 deals together and then go buy an apartment building. And then I try to reposition that apartment building, raise rents, improve the building, and then sell that apartment building and get another. But the frustrating thing was I was on my own doing this, right? And so once I saw a deal that I really, really, really wanted, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it required about $400,000 to purchase. But I saw, because I'm in this business all day, every day, that if I bought this property, I think it was $1.2 million, I needed $400,000 at the time, and I only had $200,000, right? I go, my God, I know we can make $300,000 or $400,000 in profit if we just take that building, clean it up, move a couple of the rents, we could resell it and make serious money. I just didn't have all the money. So I happened to mention it to one of my clients. Now, this guy, he had bought 5 or 6 apartment buildings from me. He had bought a couple of rental houses from me. And I just told him that I was looking at this deal and I was trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to buy it. And he goes, well, I would invest in it with you, Darren. And I go, you would? He goes, yeah. He goes, you put up half, I'll put up half, and let's just be partners. And I go, whoa. I thought he was his own guy, his own investor, didn't like partners, would never, basically invest with me where I'm in charge and he's just riding along to make a profit. But the fact is, he was happy to do it. So he put up the other part of the money together. I basically organized and orchestrated the repositioning of that property. We resold that property. We made more than we ever thought we would. I think we split $350,000 in profit. Hello. And I go, oh my God, this is better than any regular one-off brokerage deal I've ever done. So then I went on to say, well, wait a minute now, if he'll invest with me, then who else will invest with me? And I started putting the word out there to people that, I'm looking for some more opportunities. I bought this and we did that with it and we did really well. And I'm looking at some other opportunities and I'm considering doing it again. If I found something that was really good, would you consider investing alongside me, or would you consider investing in that project? And the funny thing is, everyone said yes. Everyone said yes. Everyone I mentioned it to, everyone I asked about it, everyone I brought the idea to said yes. Okay, now these are people, now I'm telling you right now, these weren't my friends and family. These were clients. These were people who owned their own real estate. These were people who were very seasoned and knew what they were doing and knew what they were talking about and basically didn't need me. But they all said yes. Unfortunately, I was a pretty high level producer, so I had a lot of clients. And so I started kind of floating the idea out there to more and more clients. And guess what? They all said yes. So then I found myself in a situation where I have plenty of investors to buy the next set of good opportunities. And they would invest with me. We'd buy the next property and we made a lot of profits together. And so I'm going to say it's about 13 years now. About 13 years ago, I kind of shifted my primary focus to my syndication business. And since that time, over the last 13 years, just kind of give you an example, I've acquired, bought and sold, or bought and owned, or bought and cash flowed over 900 apartment units, fixed and flipped more than 100 houses, which all gave me access to upfront tax-free, cash-free growth, monthly cash flow, consistently growing equity, market appreciation, a different kind of status and standing in the marketplace. Imagine, I'm a guy now who's owned almost 1,000 apartments in his career, and a guy who's fixed and flipped a whole lot of properties. And so when I talk to buyers and sellers in my brokerage business, because I am an active realtor and all of the NAHREP board people know that, Sonia and Alfonso and Shalimar and Galen, they all know that I'm a realtor every day. But on the other side of it, much more fun, much more lucrative game to play is that of owner, that of operator, that of syndicator. And the funny thing is, there are people out there syndicating successfully, and you could do it too. As a matter of fact, you might be able to do it better and more predictably and more effectively than most people, particularly if you learn the nuances of what makes great opportunities spectacular opportunities, or if you know specifically what to do to certain types of real estate to reposition it the right way. You make your money when you buy. So if you know the right formula, then you buy the right way, and then profit is all but guaranteed. I mean, the word guarantee is taboo. You don't say guarantee, but let me tell you, it's really close to guarantee, and that's the exciting part about it. And imagine this: as a syndicator, who also might happen to do whatever other profession you might do, as a syndicator, you get to talk to people as an owner, and people look at you differently. Trust me, people look at you differently as an owner than they do, as a person who doesn't own or doesn't operate. And so my suggestion is you find a way to get into it. So let me tell you a little bit more about, kind of my matriculation into it. So I started figuring out that syndication was a much more fun thing to do, a much more lucrative thing to do. And I had to go and figure it out and find my way. And I did it sort of without books, without courses, without mentors. And then kind of trial and error was kind of how I figured out how to play that game. But you kind of get the benefit of my time in the school of hard knocks, and you get to cut the learning curve like in half and get to the dramatic, sexy results a whole lot faster than I did. I had a whole lot to learn, and now you can take somebody like me, you can pick my brain, and you can get there really fast. And you can find out how to make these big returns and these big paychecks a little bit quicker because the trial and error is already done. I already did it. I can tell you. So I can show you how to find, figure out, fund, and build a fortune with real estate investments through syndication. See, when it comes to syndication, the deals are bigger, and so are the rewards. The fees are bigger, and so is the end game. The deal's not over once it closes escrow. And I'm going to show you some cool reasons syndication ought to be part of what you do. It's huge, and eventually, like me, it should eventually surpass what you do every day right now for a living. You can grow your net worth, you can grow your cash flow, and I can prove to you personally that there's a way you can do it. You specifically can do it. You go, oh, Darren, oh, you're a seven-figure producer. You're a top 1% real estate agent. Doesn't matter. I wasn't when I started, so it can be done. And here's the funny thing. People go, well, okay, but you probably have a whole lot of cash to put down. No, I didn't when I started. You don't have to put up your own money. You don't have to be the sole funding source. In some situations, you don't have to put up any of the money. As a matter of fact, let me give you a quick example. I had a client, we found this avenue where we were going to be able to buy, I think in succession, about 10 properties. We didn't have to buy them all at once, but we knew we were going to get 10 properties. And I had one client say to me, well, Darren, I want to be part of that. And so here's what I'll do. Why don't I put up all of the money? And why don't you do all of the management? And why don't you do, run the partnership, run the properties, oversee the management, and we'll do a fair split on the money. How about that? Can you imagine that? Now, I got this great opportunity. I know where we're going to get these 10 distressed properties from. I know we're going to get them at a 30 to 40, 50% discount. And then some investor guy, who's actually a client of mine, he says, Darren, why don't you include me in this deal? I go, oh, well, how do you want to participate? He goes, I want to give you all the money. I want to put up all the money. Have you ever had anybody say that to you? Well, guess what? As a syndicator, some people will say, the deals you bring me are so good, let's just work out something equitable and I'll write all the checks and you just run the show. Who wouldn't take that job? Kind of a pretty good job, right? So we did that deal. He put up every penny of the money to buy all 10 of the deals. I oversaw the contractors to reposition the deals, to upgrade the deals, to renovate the deals, to remarket the deals, and we resold the deals and made a killing with him putting up all the cash. Can you think of a better way to angle your business? Can you think of a better way to find financial freedom? Can you think of a better way to wealth than finding great deals? How hard is that for you to do? And then having other people say, I want to participate. If you're not doing that, I contend that you're leaving money on the table. I contend that you're slowing your growth to financial freedom. And so my suggestion is you take this little kick in the butt from me today, start your syndication business and start becoming a principal, start becoming an investor, start owning some of your best opportunities instead of passing them off to the next person and watching them retire young and rich instead of you. I think it's time you got in on the game. See, in syndication, I like to say there's way more juice in the squeeze. And that's the beauty of it. There's a lot more money to be made and a lot more ways to make the money. I'm going to show you that in a little while. There's a lot more ways to get paid. Boy, oh boy. When you get that figured out, you're going to say, you know what? I'm syndicating starting today. Because when you have the right people in place and the right tools in place, you can make a whole lot more money on a team with other people and other smart people who want to join you in your projects. And from your point of view, you bring a lot to the table, and these other people want to get involved. They want to ride along with you. And I've had a certain number of situations, I've had too many people for the amount of money that was needed to do the deal. I had too many investors. And so we just have to tell some people, no, sorry, it's all sold out. What a good problem to have, right? And then we move forward, we do that deal, and we all make money together. So over the years, I've been fortunate enough to align myself with the right people who also just enhanced what we were doing in the syndication. Investors from everywhere, from every walk of life you can imagine. I've had investors show up. Successful professional people who are hungry to invest. Everyone knows they should be invested in real estate. These are people who know they should be in real estate but aren't, and you're going to usher them into the game. Property management companies who I can trust completely to keep my tenants happy and keep the rents rolling in and keep my expenses down. I've met some phenomenal people. And then we plug in my underwriting system that I share with people like yourselves, students of mine, and I show you how to make sure you've analyzed the deal so you make money for sure. I met attorneys who love the business. I met accountants who have scores and scores of clients who need to invest in real estate for tax purposes. I've got trust attorneys who help liquidate people's estates, and guess who they call first with those properties that they need to liquidate? Their favorite syndicator guy who will close the deal every time on time, just like they would like. I've got bankers who call me and say, Darren, we've got these 10 foreclosures coming up. Are you going to be ready to buy them? Yes, sir, Mr. Asset Manager. My team and I will be ready to buy them. So what I want to do is I want to show you why this is something you have to incorporate into your game plan. It's why you got to incorporate this into your 2021 playbook. Because if you make the right couple of moves, you can launch a legitimate, strong syndication business and have an additional set of income streams coming in. You can be growing your net worth. You can be growing your value. You can become more valuable to your clients. You can become more valuable to your investor group. You can become more valuable to your escrow, your title. Everyone in your world will see you as a different person, as a much more prestigious person, as a much more informed person. And before you know it, your phone will start ringing. And the coolest thing is syndicators, the best syndicators are always buyers, they're always sellers, and they're always lenders. In the world of syndication, you get to play all of those games, wear all of those hats, and make money for your people all along the way. And so I think you right here, right now, are in the perfect position to become a syndicator and expand your world of wealth building tools. I know you know how to make money already. You've already proven that. You know how to make money. But now how do you take that money and move it to the next level? How do you build wealth? How do you build legacy wealth? How do you build massive cash flow that will get you to what I call your freedom number? You know what your freedom number is? Does anybody know what their freedom number is? I'll tell you this. Alfonso and gosh, Sonia and Galen and all the board members at NAHREP South Bay, I challenged all of them to figure out what their freedom number is. And that's why Shalimar is out there buying investment properties and using little pearls she's learned from me, because your freedom number is that amount of income, that amount of cash flow that comes into your mailbox every month that allows you to live the lifestyle you want to live without having to go to work. Oh my goodness. That's what freedom is all about. So like, for instance, so if you want to figure out your freedom number, what does it take to live the lifestyle you want to live? That means drive what you want to drive. That means live where you want to live. That means travel where you want to travel to. That means help the people you want to help. That means bless the people in your life the way you want to bless them, and do it all without having to go to work, without having to go to the office, without having to wake up at 5 a.m., without having to cold call or door knock. What's that number? That number is the monthly number that gets you to freedom. And when that amount of money comes to you every month, whether you show up at work or not, you, my friend, are free. That's what your freedom number is all about. So syndication, the beautiful part is, syndication can accelerate you to your freedom number 10 times faster than just working your job, just working your solopreneur business. Syndication can accelerate that because it creates leverage and it allows you to buy bigger, it allows you to buy more, and it allows you to do everything at a much more magnified pace. I mean, 10x is like the big catchphrase these days. Well, syndication will 10x your wealth building. If you think hustling the way you hustle every day is getting you towards your goals and your wealth, your desired wealth, then you're probably right. But if you want to put that on supercharged, you want to put that on jet engine supersonic, become a syndicator, learn how to syndicate, multiply that wealth 10 times faster, multiply that cash flow 10 times faster. And guess what? Bring some cool people along with you. Your investors will love you for it, and you'll get there much faster. It's just that simple. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you if I know how to do this correctly. Now, I've screwed this up many times, so I'm going to try to share my screen with you and walk you through some of the essentials of syndication. And then, by the way, I'm going to leave some time at the end. This time is going fast. I'm going to leave some time at the end for you to ask some questions. But let's see if we can power through my little presentation and then leave us time to do the Q&A. Okay, Marlon, I clicked that little thing. There, boom. I think you guys can see my screen. All right, Marlon gave me the thumbs up, which means I didn't screw this up. All right, seven-figure syndicator. Seven-figure syndicator is my syndication mentorship program. And I'm sharing this mentorship program like with you guys today. This is kind of the basic intro lesson to seven-figure syndicator. And this is a program that I take a limited number of mentees every quarter and teach them how to syndicate, and then stay with them until they close their first deal. Pretty cool, because a lot of people have taken it, and a lot of people have become independent, a lot of people have become free through this course. So seven-figure syndicate. So you guys, luckily, you're associated and affiliated with NAHREP South Bay, because you're getting a look at this, like inside look at seven-figure syndicator for nothing. And it's a course that's been pretty highly sought after. So let's talk about it. The best deals are you guys have typically a lot of access to good opportunities. And even in your day-to-day life, there are opportunities that present themselves that maybe as a person on their way to work, you don't necessarily recognize. I see syndication opportunities every single day. Okay, I got an unfortunate occurrence. Two of them have happened on my street right here in Studio City in the last 4 months. The first one is a lady across the street, been living in that house for 40 years, decided she's going to retire and move to South Carolina with her daughter. Guess what she needs to do next? Sell her house that hasn't been renovated in 40 years. Great neighborhood, great opportunity. People making multiple offers on everything that comes up for sale, and she wants to sell. Oh, wait, no, she doesn't just want to sell. She needs to sell. So she goes up for sale. Great opportunity. Buy it, add value, make a bunch of money. Great syndication opportunity. I wrote her an offer the first day it came on the market. Another opportunity in a situation. I always tell people, I don't buy real estate, I buy situations. Another situation that recently occurred, the lady lived alone up the hill. She passed away recently, and her estate is ready to sell her home. Spectacular view home with a pool, amazing property. House just needs to be upgraded and renovated. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna probate that house, they're gonna sell it, and I'm gonna buy it probably at a 25% discount. Why? Because they're not selling it out of greed, they're just selling it out of need. They're gonna sell the property, distribute the money to her heirs, and that's it. So they're not waiting for the last possible dollar, they're just waiting for a good price. My group and I will give them a good price. And then we'll renovate that house, we'll put it back on the market, and we'll make a good profit. Syndication is brilliant, you guys, it's brilliant. So why should I syndicate deals? Why syndicate? Because huge profits are still being made today. Some people will say to me, well, Darren, our prices are too high. There's no money to be made. Wrong. You are so wrong, because there are still people who need to sell. Not just want to sell, but need to sell. Like the two people across the street, right here on my street. And I could come to your street and probably find a syndication deal opportunity in the next 15 days. I come to your street. Matter of fact, Alfonso, I'm coming to your street next week, and we're going to find a syndication opportunity on his street. I'm telling you, it's right under your nose. It's happening right before your face every day. Why should I syndicate deals? Because there's never been a better time to pool resources with people who know they should be investing in real estate, but just don't have the access or the knowledge that you might. There are opportunities because there are assets that are distressed. What do you think just happened during the last 12 months while we were in COVID? Have you heard of anybody not paying their rent? Have you heard of anybody not paying their mortgage in the last 12 months? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Distress. It's everywhere. And what does distress create? Discounted purchasing opportunities. Oh my God, I love distress. And the thing is this, it's not about taking advantage or unfair advantage of someone. It's about helping someone out who can no longer afford to pay their mortgage. It's about helping someone out whose business had to close. I'm standing in the very house right now that I got an opportunity to have because the person here before during COVID had to close their business, lay off 19 employees, and said, I can no longer afford that house. Ding, 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 ding. Did I make that situation happen? No. Did I go and say, hey, I might be able to help? Yes. Do I end up in the house of my dreams because of it? Yes. There's opportunities everywhere. I'm telling you, they're on your street. They're in your neighborhood. It's between where you're going to come from today and where you're going to go to work or home. There's opportunities on that drop, I guarantee it. Some situations are depressed. Some situations are just underpriced. Some people don't really know what they have. I've bought from people who have owned a property for 20 years, and I'm going to show you one in a few minutes that we bought because they're like, well, if we get 2.3 million, we'll be happy. The property was worth 2.8 million, but they sold it for 2.3 because they inherited it, and that's what they figured they'd be happy with. Can you imagine that? Do you think people like that really exist? I'm proof that they exist. I just bought from people just like that. I'm telling you, people, and the thing is this, I could have easily said, hey, best client in the world, I got this great property that's $500,000 underpriced. And I would have made a nice commission, and my client would have made the real money. Instead, I said, hey, team, I got a great opportunity for us, and I think the property is $500,000 underpriced. I think we should buy it. and everybody, my phone blows up, it goes crazy. Marlon gets sick of answering the phone. All these people are calling, they want to invest in the property with you. Hello? Why wouldn't they? We bought it for $500,000 under market. We're going to renovate it, and then we're going to resell it and make a tremendous, incredible, sexy profit. There's nothing better than that. The market, the turmoil that we've just come through for the past 11 months, going on 12, has created opportunities. And if you as an investor and syndicator could focus on some of that, you could add $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 to your income this year. You need to learn how to syndicate. You need to find an expert to teach you how to do it. You need to get a mentor to help you get there. It doesn't have to be me, but you need to do it. It really should be me because I'm the best. But the fact is, just learn the game and get in. Learn it and get in. And you guys have access to deals, and you see deals even when you don't think you're seeing deals. And then in the world of syndication, the rules have changed. Do you know that, 10 or 12 years ago, you couldn't put on social media, not that there was a lot of social media, but you couldn't advertise or put out in the world, hey, I have this opportunity, would you like to invest with me? You couldn't say that in any kind of public medium. Today, you can. The rules have changed. The crowdfunding and things like that have allowed advertising and investment to become a legal thing. And so before, the Securities Exchange Commission wouldn't allow investors, syndicators like myself to go, hey world, I've got this opportunity. Anybody who wants in, direct message me. That wasn't allowed. But today, it's allowed. It's never been a better time to become a syndicator. You can publish this on your social media. You can technically advertise your investment opportunity. So are you stuck with just your clients or just your friends and family? No. There are people with way more money and way more ability to invest than just your friends and family. So once you learn how to approach them properly, there you go. All your capital needs are taken care of with respect to the next investment deal. See, once you learn how to syndicate real estate, you can syndicate anything. I've syndicated businesses, purchased enterprises, syndicated, because it's funny, actually syndicated industrial equipment. That's crazy. I know. But I'll give you a great example of how do you syndicate industrial equipment. I knew a guy that had a printing company, and he wanted a $400,000 printing press, I guess it is. He's an industrial commercial printer, and he didn't want to spend the $400,000 out of his pocket. So we put together a partnership of people, bought the machine, and he was willing to pay rent on the machine that ended up cash flowing all the investors 20% on their money. How about that? What's wrong with 20% return on your money? Nothing. Here's the other thing. Now, this is where it gets really fun. If you're going to hire somebody to provide a service, so if you're going to hire a third party to provide a service for you and your investments and your business and your syndication, your properties, the best person to hire is yourself. The beautiful thing about syndication is there are multiple ways to make the money. You can make money in several ways, and watch this. I'm going to show you something that's almost magical. This I call a revenue spider. Spider. Marlon, we got to put a picture of a spider in the middle of this next time. Okay, a revenue spider. Why do I say a revenue spider? Because a spider's got 6 legs, right? And in a syndication, you can get paid 6, count them, 6 different ways. Wait a minute. So if I broker a transaction, how many ways can I get paid? 1. If I syndicate a transaction, how many ways, Darren, can I get paid? 6. Are you kidding me? Well, let's just start with the obvious. As a realtor, I get the brokerage commission, right? So I represent my syndication group. So I am the buyer's rep. So I get the buy side fee. Oh, and when we resell it, I get to rep the group as the listing agent. So I get the sell side fee of that list side. Okay. So there you go. There's 1, brokerage. Number 2, let's go to the left here. Profit sharing. Guess what? As the syndicator or the sponsor, By the way, some people use those words interchangeably. Syndicator is also equivalent as sponsor. So in some situations, someone will say, who's the sponsor? Well, that's the syndicator. Well, that's you, the person putting the deal together. As the syndicator, you get a piece of the profit, even if you didn't put up any of the money. Okay, so wait a minute. You just got paid for the brokerage. Your group now owns the property. Whether you put money in or not, you get a piece of the profit just for being the syndicator. Ooh, that's big. That's big. I'll show you how big that is in a few minutes. Then, if you develop or redevelop, you can be the general contractor because you're the owner. You and your team are the owners, but you can act as the general contractor. You can get paid a contractor's fee. If it's a property that needs to be repositioned, you can get paid as the asset manager for the property. You can get paid to manage the property. You get a management fee. Most management companies get 5% of the collected gross. Hello? And then you can get paid for raising the capital. So if you have more than one investor, let's say you have 15 investors, you can actually charge a syndication fee as the person raising the capital. 6 ways, ladies and gentlemen. I just showed you 6 paychecks for one property. How many paychecks did you make on your last transaction? Did you make 6? Did you even make 5? 4? 3? 2? Nope. Most of you made 1. You made 1 paycheck on your last transaction, and I'm showing you how to make 6 on the same deal. Let me show you some fun stuff real quick. I'm going to whip through these really fast. Woo, time is flying. I'm trying to get through this in the next 4 minutes, Alfonso, I promise. No, make it 5. Here we go. Here's one in Canoga Park, California. I don't know how many of you know Canoga Park. Real simple deal. We look for the easy deals. I work hard to find the easy deal. This was one that we bought it, paid $250,000, pretty cheap. We renovated. We only put $33,000 in. We just dressed up the kitchen, better appliances, better countertops, better floors, and we put it on the market. 6 days later, we sold it. Net return $63,000. That was the profit. 23rd Street in Los Angeles, right near downtown, actually. 3-bedroom, 1-bath home. Bought it for $168,000. Both these last two are like houses or neighborhoods nobody really even wanted. Like there was no competition. We just bought them. We bought them cheap, and we renovated, put a little renovation money in it. When we were done, multiple people wanted. We put this back on the market. We netted $58,000. Here's another one. This is a condo, ladies and gentlemen. This is a condo. We bought it for $147,000. We put $12,000 in. We sold it for $260,000. Do the math, ladies and gentlemen. After all expenses, and that's even paying a realtor, which you could be, paying a realtor escrow, title, transfer tax, we netted $76,000 in profit. Would you and 2 friends love to split $76,000 for selling a condo, putting in new appliances, changing the floors, painting it, and reselling to make the $76,000? How many of your clients or friends or family or investors would love to join you on a deal like that? Are you seeing this? Are you getting what I'm talking about? Check this out. 41st Street, Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, this is South LA. This is South Central LA, where you think, oh my God, nobody wants to buy or own in South Central. Are you kidding me? We bought this for $650,000. We put $35,000 in, and we sold it for $950,000, $239,000 profit we split. Anybody, does that sound sexy? Does that sound fun to you? And look at the number of days. It took us 30 days. It took us 30 days to make that money. How long did it take you to market your last listing? Think about it. Did you make $239? $239,000? You might have made $239. But did you make $239,000? Let me show you another one. Woodland Hills, cool house, sexy house, $727,000. They way underpriced it. Hint, hint. They inherited it. $727,000. We bought it. We put $50,000 in just to spruce it up. Look at the crazy resale price. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what does. If making $669,000 on one transaction does not blow your mind and make you go, hey, I want to be more than just a one paycheck realtor. I want to be more than just a everyday go to work accountant. I want to be more than just an engineer making this $97,000 a year. I want to make this kind of money. That's what's available, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is know how. All you got to do is know how. Look at Encino, 3,300 square feet in Encino. 1.3 million we pay. You might go, oh my God, that's a lot, 1.3 million. It's not a lot when you got 5 partners. And then you resell it for $1,875,000 and you split $389,000 in profit. If that's not sexy, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is. All right, let me give you some real world. Let me give you some today, some right now. Here's the property, South Pasadena. We just acquired this property. When did we buy it, Marlon? September 15th? September 15th, 2020. We just bought it. Guess what we bought? Look at it. Look at it hard. 110 years old, ugliest property in the best neighborhood in all of the San Gabriel Valley. And guess what we're going to do? Renovate it top to bottom. Everyone wants to go to the schools in South Pasadena. We bought it. We're going to turn it around, make it brand new. And look at what the potential resale is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. We bought it for 1.2 million. 2.5 will be the market value when we're done. Think we'll make a few dollars? Next up, Brentwood. We just closed this deal 45 days ago. 45 days ago. This is the one where I told you somebody said, oh, we just want $2.3 million. They inherited the house. They grew up in the house. They inherited the house. And they just wanted 2.3. I don't know where they got that number from, but they decided that's how much we want, 2.3. I shot right over there. I sat down with those guys, and we shook hands on that deal because I was like, this is a slam dunk home run opportunity. We bought it. There's a big rehab going on right now. And look at the exit, okay? North of $4 million is what the exit ought to be. You think your investors would say, hey, I'm in on that deal with you, Alfonso. I want to get in on that, Shalimar. Is that what you're buying? Okay, I'm in. Here's my money. I'm good for 100 grand. I'm good for 50 grand. I'm good for 300 grand. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the way you ought to be playing the game. This is the way you ought to be doing it. And now look, I always say to people, don't waste a good recession. Well, you might say, we're not in a recession. Well, I mean, let's just take a step back and look at this. 9 million jobs went away last year. 9 million. Now, some of those will come back, but many, many, many won't. If you don't think that this is the tale of two economies, you're missing it. We got a lot of people who have money, who are happy and doing well, and got a lot of people who are in trouble. Don't let this recessionary environment down here go to waste, meaning things are going to be on sale, and as a syndicator, you get to buy as many of those as you can raise the capital for. So let me just dispel a few myths about syndication. Raising capital is all based on who you know. It's not. There are ways to find people that you don't even know who will want to invest with you. I mean, think about it. If you went and surveyed 100 people at the grocery store, and I'm not saying do this, that's not the method, but if you went and talked to 100 people at the grocery store and said, do you think you should be investing in real estate? 99 of them would say, absolutely, I know I should be investing in real estate. I just don't know how, or I just don't have time. Everybody knows they should be investing in real estate. That's why there's plenty of people to invest with. Number two, the second myth, strangers will not invest with me. Wrong again. Strangers just really want to know, what is it you're doing? Who are you? What's your credibility? What's your experience? And what's our projected return? And they're all in. Many, many, many times, people will be like, that makes sense to me. Show me how my investment is secure. Show me how my ownership position is secure, and I'm in. Next, yeah, another myth about real estate, that there's not a lot of money available. There's nothing more further than the truth. There are so many people with disposable money, disposable income, savings, 401ks. Did you know there's a way people can invest 401k money into your project? And so there's plenty of money out there. You just got to access it and be able to tell people the correct story about how to invest intelligently with you. And then what you need to be able to do is find the most motivated sellers. Remember I told you we make our money when we buy real estate? You got to find the most motivated sellers. Who are they? And I'm going to go through them real fast. The 4 Ds. The 4 Ds. Distress, foreclosures, bankruptcies, defaults. Divorce. How many people get divorced every year? 50% of the marriages end in divorce, unfortunately. But what do they usually have to do when they get divorced? Liquidate the assets. They're selling for reasons other than greed. Debt, probate. My last 5 transactions were all probate transactions. And dissolution of partnerships. Partnerships dissolve every stinking day, And those people need to sell. They don't just want to sell, they need to sell. Where do you get the good prices? The 4 Ds, ladies and gentlemen: distress, divorce, death, and the dissolution of partnerships. And I go into a little bit, really briefly in the next 4 slides about where you find these kinds of properties. Alfonso and Shalimar will get you this list if you need to. You can also ask for it on my website, but these are places where you can go to find distressed properties. I won't go through them all. Divorce attorneys, easy place to find out about who's getting divorced. And let's see, 50% of the marriages end in divorce. Just go ask your friends how their marriage is doing. That's not cool, but it's true. It's unfortunately half of the marriages end in divorce. Keep your eyes and ears open. Death, probates, ladies and gentlemen, probates are going. Think about it. If the oldest baby boomers are now approaching their 70s and 80s, think about it. There's a lot of death going on, and those are the people that bought the most real estate over the last 50, 60 years. And the dissolution of partnerships. Most partnerships, ladies and gentlemen, you might not know this, but most partnerships have a deadline or a sunset date on which they're going to liquidate the partnership. And that's where a lot of motivated sellers come from when they need to sell. So I've burned through this time so fast, I can't believe how fast it went. But this is a big sweeping overview to let you know you ought to be thinking about syndication. And those of you who really want to take this seriously and be mentored by me and my team, I have a mentorship program that you could join. It's available, and we can talk about it. And I'm going to tell you what site to go to or what link to click. Matter of fact, Marlon's going to put a link in the chat box, and that way you can click on it and you can apply to join the mentorship program. Well, number one, I'm telling you a couple of things. It's not free, it's not cheap, but it's no joke. When you're done, you will own real estate and you'll become a syndicator. So Alfonso and Shalimar can put you in touch with me, or you can go to darrencampbell.com, or you can click the link in the chat box and you can go take your syndication education to another level. But let me just let you meet one of my students. Marlon, there's no arrow here. Just click it. All right, I want you to meet one of my students and just kind of hear his quick testimonial. I hope you can hear this. Here we go. Hey team, all right, I'm on a field trip with one of my main dudes, my star pupil, Salim. Hey, how's it going, guys? We just went out and checked out a situation, and it's a situation where it's a probate property, and it's a property that can be bought for $170,000 below market, and it's a property where he can put together 2 or 3 of his colleagues, acquire that property, do some light renovations, turn around and make $100,000, about 100% return on the money. So this is kind of real world stuff. That's why I want to show you that we're doing this in real time, in the real world. This is February 1st, 2021, and we're in the field actually finding, fixing, and flipping real estate. How are you enjoying the course, the mentorship so far, Salim?
Man, it has been lights out, phenomenal. 10 out of 10. I'm excited to get some deals underway, and right now we are rocking and on all cylinders, and I'm just happy to have the DC as our coach. And so I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, so listen, if you really are tired of the rat race, you're really tired of working that job. I mean, this guy right here is a very, very highly paid technical guy, but he's in the rat race. Somebody else is deciding, hey man, we don't want you to make more than $350,000 this year. We don't want to make you can't make $500,000. That you'd be getting over too well. So someone's got a thumb on his head, and he's the best at what he does. Yet someone else is limiting his possibilities. So what we're doing is we're getting him out of the rat race. He's gonna find his freedom number. He's gonna be independent, and he's writing down in his goals and journal right now. He just made a note that he is going to write his resignation letter tonight. He may not present it for 6 months or 11 months, but he's going to write that letter tonight. And by the end of this year, this man's going to be free. He's going to be a real estate investor full time. If that's where you want to go, that's what you want to do. You want to find independence like that, you should check in with us and take a call with me. Let me talk to you about how we can customize a mentorship program for you to reach your goals and become free. I'm Darren Campbell. I'm your real estate mentor.
and I'll see you along with Celine at the top.
And so that's an example of somebody who is currently in the program. And I want to offer that to any of you who want to go deeper and be mentored in how to become a syndicator. And really, as you can see, it shouldn't take long for you for your business to take wings. I'll just tell it to you like this. I teach people how to flip. I teach people how to acquire income producing property. But just think about this. The average flip makes $61,000 a year. I mean, $61,000 in profit. And if we're going to make sure you flip your first couple of deals before the mentorship is over, think about that. If you could make an extra $100,000 to $120,000 just by making 2 moves this year, doing your first 2 syndication deals, would that be an education worth having? I want you to think about that. And if you want to know more, Marlon will put the link to take a call with us and see if you qualify and see if it's right for you. And maybe it will be. So with that, I've kind of gone way over my time. I'm sorry, Shalimar. I'm sorry, Alfonso. But I'll open it up to questions. I'll stick around if you need me to.
Yes, we actually do. Thank you so much once again, Darren. I mean, a wealth of knowledge. I took so many copious notes. I learned another like 10 nuggets that I know I want to do myself. I have 2 questions. One is a 2-part question. So I'm going to do the first question is, what will be the minimum? And this is a question from Sonia Moncayo. What will be the minimum to start a syndication?
Well, the minimum investment from other people. The way I started out was I went and found people who were willing to put $10,000 in with me because we were buying small houses. And so I was looking for, I had to put together $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000. And so I would let people come in with as little as $10,000. Well, I've graduated from there. Now anyone who wants to invest with me, it's at least $50,000, and sometimes it's higher than that. But you can start out with as little as people who can come in with 10 grand. You put together 5 of those people, you got $50,000. You can go buy a house to flip. So it's up to you. You get to decide that as the syndicator or sponsor.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Darren. We have a 2-part question from Robin Shaw. As a newbie, how do you figure out how many investors you will need, and how will you find the investors? And I think you kind of answered that in your presentation on how to find investors, but just I think for the first part of the question, how do you figure out how many investors you need?
Okay, so what you do is you kind of work backwards. You say, all right, we're going to buy that house, and that house is $500,000 to purchase. And then you look at the lending scenario. Number one, if I don't have enough investors to like pay cash and buy that thing for all cash, 500 grand all cash, what I do is I talk to my lender, one of my private lenders. And by the way, I got a list of private lenders who love to help you out. But typically a private lender wants you to put at least 30% down. So if I got a $500,000 property, I need $150,000. If I'm using $10,000 as the investment minimum, then I need to sell 15 investment units. I need to come up with $150,000. And then what you want to think about is, how do I get my renovation money? And a lot of times the private lender will lend you the first and will lend you the renovation money as a second trustee. If you don't want to do that, you just raise a little bit more money. So like a few of those, you saw I put less than $50,000 in to renovate the property. Well, you buy the property with the first $150,000, and then you raise 50 more for the renovation. Now you got your whole capital stack, as we call it, covered. And now you put that 150 down, you put the other 50 into renovations, you resell, and if you've done your work well, you can make $100,000 or $150,000 profit on a $200,000 investment. Pretty good return, by the way.
I mean, it definitely, it's exciting. I think that your mentorship and this opportunity that you're giving someone to, mentor, I think you're investing in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, I mean, you're going to recapture and gain everything. So we really do appreciate. I believe I'm going to give it a few more minutes. Let me look and see if we have any other questions. Yes, I have one more question. How much will there be as a percentage between buying and selling to be on the safe side? Like, what's the percentage between buying and selling to be on the safe side?
Oh, so like what kind of spread, what kind of profit should you project?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I try to look at it like if I'm going to split the profit with my investor, so as the sponsor, as the guy putting it all together, I want to make, so I've done situations where I take 20% for being the sponsor and then the investors get 80%. I had another situation where this was like a guaranteed slam dunk, easy resale, and everyone was going to make a whole lot of money. Well, I took a larger percentage of that deal because I found that deal. It was like a layup. We turned it over and everybody made a bunch of money real fast. So I took a larger percentage. I took 40% of that transaction and I gave the investors the other 60%. But what you want to do then is you want to look at how much money there is to be made. And then you want to back into that and say, if we chop that, then how much will my people make? I like to see my investors make 20% or better on their money. Most of my investments are a 1-year thing. I tell people, look, I might renovate this thing in 5 months, but the money's a 1-year investment. So that way you don't want to be like nervous that, oh my God, it's not sold yet and we're not finished with the rehab yet. And I told people 6 months. You want to give yourself enough time to complete the project. So anybody who invests with me, I say, look, your money's going to be gone for a year, but we should be able to make 20+% on your money. And in many of these investments, we've made 30, 40, 50% on our money or more. But something conservative, I like to shoot for a 20% or better return on the money. So you work backwards. If I'm buying that house at $700,000, I'm saying if I'm buying that house at $500,000, but it'll be worth $700 when we're done with it, then I back into what those returns will be. And if it's enough, if it's substantial enough, we make the move.
I mean, so you're definitely setting up the expectation of you're not going to see this money for at least a year, but just know the expectation is 20% is the goal. Yep. And usually it's higher than that. So I think it's great to set the right expectation. So everyone take copious notes, set the right expectation, know what to expect, put some conservative numbers on there, right?
You gotta manage expectations. You gotta be the kind of syndicator that undersells and over delivers. So if you tell people, hey, you're gonna make 80% on your money, and then you end up making 40%, 40% is incredible, but they'll be disappointed because you told them 80. So I'd rather say to people, look, we aim at 20% or better. And if we can do better than 20, then we'll all be very happy. But we aim at 20. And you let people know this is an investment in real estate. You can lose money. It does happen. But if we do our homework the right way and you show people how you analyze properties and how you project and why you think 700 or $1 million is the resale number, you do that by justifying it with comps. You don't say, hey, if it's pretty, it'll sell for $1 million. And if nothing else is sold for $1 million in that neighborhood, then you're making a pie in the sky projection that's dangerous. You don't want to fail. You want to win. And the more you win, the more people come back and say, hey, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. Well, this has been really amazing. It looks like we don't have any more questions. Seriously, even if we went over, everything that you gave us was wonderful. Guys, remember, you can go to go.oneshub.com/Darren Campbell. You can get if you click on that link, it's on this link right now. That will give you information. That way you have it. Worst case scenario, we're also going to post it on our Facebook page. Just know that Darren is once again, we can't thank you enough for sharing your knowledge, and we really do appreciate this partnership that we have with you. As your incoming president, see our installation. I want to do a shameless plug about our installation next week. It's going to be the 24th of February at 1:30. Join us, and definitely you can get you're going to have this recording available, and you can see it. Look at on our Facebook page. Thank you so much, Darren. Once again, we appreciate you.
It's my pleasure, Shalimar. Thanks for having me. And yeah, that installation is going to be great. Everybody should come. I was at the last one. Spectacular event. And the incoming president is awesome.
Oh, well, thank you so much, hon. Well, definitely, we really appreciate your support. Thank you. I wish it could be an in-person installation, but in today's society, we just got to adjust to new things. And this is what we're doing. We're adjusting to where, there's changing time. So we have to adjust. So this is a new way, not a new way because it's been there, but now it's like a little bit more talked about, syndication. Let's do this. I'm excited. I can't wait till I start my own syndication and I call you and say, Darren, guess what?
And you've been known to do that kind of stuff. So I say do it. No time like the present. this year's going to be a phenomenal year. Great opportunities are out there. Everybody should get started. Whether you use me to teach you or not, you should do it anyway. And anytime you want, you can go to darrencampbell.com and find out more. But thanks again, Shalimar, Alfonso, Sonia, Galen, the whole gang. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.